Bitcoin is Big Ken Energy. Guys, welcome back to Debate Crypto, where we question everything, trust nothing, for a Sunday recap of what's been going on in the week. Man, it's been a wild week, let me tell you. We have interest rate hikes. We've had Barbie talking about Bitcoin, not expected at all. But nonetheless, it's been a great week here in the crypto space. Like always, guys, I appreciate everybody in the chat right now smashing those likes and vote. Let me know. Do you guys think Bitcoin is Big Ken Energy? Drop it in the chat. Let me look at who's in the chat right now. Ken, first here in the chat, say hey yo. I see Ken. Ken got Big Ken energy. I can tell you that. So let's start the show here. Simple, right? Before we get into all the craziness that we're going to talk about, Barbie and Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about U.S. debt explosion. Talking about countries all around the world using XRP, or should I say CBDCs on Ripple, but not on XRP. But nonetheless, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about one that we don't really talk about ever, we hear about in a long time. The BAT token has been implementing some pretty cool features, and we're definitely going to be touching upon that as well. So, Crypto Birdie says, interesting title today, 100%. We're going to definitely be covering it. So, let's jump into the markets here. Let's see what the markets are doing. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let me show you what I'm seeing here in the charts. Well, not the charts, just the crypto market overcap. So, as you guys can see here, let me expand my screen. Overall, Bitcoin's still kind of stagnant. Everything's kind of going sideways. Not much. Bitcoin can't seem to break above that 29,400, 500 range. It's just been stuck there. It's below 30,000, which is not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Our friends over at Leading Crypto Magic and CVO have been warning us about this, and we will see if it will come true. But if we don't reclaim 30, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. But in general, everything pretty much hasn't moved in the last 7 days. Look at this, all last 7 days, negative 1.9%, 0, 0, 3.5%, 0.33. Dogecoin had a 10% move in the last week. That's about it. I mean, it's been absolutely moving like molasses out here. Let me tell you, like molasses. It's like watching paint dry right now in the crypto markets. Where's the volatility? Where's the risk? That's what we signed on for. We signed on for risk, guys. We signed on for major movements in the price action, but like ain't really happening right now, right? And it's all part of the bear market cycle. It's all part of that time in the market. So give me a quick second. Yeah, I didn't want you guys to hear my stand-up desk on the way down, so I had to mute myself there real quick. So let's get into it. Let's jump right into the Barbie Bitcoin story. It's a pretty simple one, straightforward, nothing crazy, but it is important. And I'll tell you why it's important after we cover it real quick. So as I share my screen here. You guys can see Barbie star Margaret Robbie, not Robert, says you're a Ken if you talk Bitcoin. I haven't seen the movie, so I am assuming this is not a negative term, right? It's not like calling somebody a Karen or something, which is unfortunate for everybody whose real name is Karen and doesn't act like a Karen. So obviously the actress, has had a little bit of a PR thing going on with Bitcoin because her husband is apparently big into the crypto Bitcoin game, and he was talking about it in the movie, right? While they were filming the movie, was talking about he was talking about his interest in cryptocurrency, and was talking about it with, I believe, another producer or director. And the actress says that his interest in cryptocurrency as Big Ken Energy. Basically, they have big spots and revelations about happening with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, and she thinks that it's something that's really important. And it even grabbed Michael Saylor's attention on it. And the reason why this is important is because, like it says here, the phenomenon also highlights increased influence of popular figures in the perception, shaping the perception of cryptocurrencies. So this is why it's important. we're seeing more and more shows now on Netflix and many other platforms using the word NFTs, right? Using the word Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and that is showing that it is infiltrating culture. And we're seeing a big star like Margaret Robbie, right, in one of these big time movies, the Barbie, and during her press, her press conference or press tour, whatever, in one of these big shows, she references Bitcoin. There's a lot of attention on this Barbie movie, whether you like it or you don't. And it's just the fact that she's dropping the word Bitcoin and talking about how her husband and other big people in her circle, right, her elite circle of actors and actresses and high status members of society are literally talking about Bitcoin really highlights this. And I think we're getting ready to see a lot more of this as the presidential election continues. We have four candidates, right, on the Republican side and one on the Democratic side that is heavily talking about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin. And I think we're going to see a bigger infiltration of these concepts into our culture through shows, like I've mentioned before, right? I believe it was the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Um, that was a Marvel show that literally referenced Bitcoin. People were getting paid in Bitcoin. Obviously, they were doing some not great activities, but people were getting paid in Bitcoin nonetheless. And it's just there's many other shows that I've seen them referencing NFTs and people making money off NFTs and selling NFTs, and it's just all of this is coming and becoming a more normal topic, and the normies are hearing this term, this technology, this money concept from high status people in society. And people like hearing things like that from authority figures. And that's how trends get set, right? That's how fashion is a big thing. Makeup, all these things take take force, take movement, get propelled forward because some of these big people start using it and talking about it and showing it off, and then everyone else follows suit. So the fact that Bitcoin is doing this and is being put out there like in a press conference like the Barbie, you know, is I think is a great move towards just awareness and adoption of Bitcoin and just in the eyes of the normies, right? In the eyes of the normies. Guys, smash those likes if you haven't smashed the like just yet. Hit drop your comments. Let me know what you believe. Do you think Barbie is now on Bitcoin Maxi? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know if owning Bitcoin is Big Ken energy. I don't know. Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat. So let's move on to some bigger and more important news here. Let's talk about the BAT token. It's something that we don't talk about a lot. It's something that was mentioned a lot in the previous bull market. BAT token, if you use the Brave browser, you can earn BAT token and you can reward certain websites and content creators in the BAT token. It's pretty cool. And it stands for Basic Attention Token. But they're doing some pretty good stuff here. Aru says all publicity is good publicity. I agree. New World says, "Hey Crusader, hope everyone's having a great day. Smash that like 100%." Uh, good seeing you, Sean. Good seeing all of you guys in the chat here right now. I believe that you guys are all correct. Yes, I mean Ken is the guy Barbie doll. Yes, he is. But why not? So let's move on to basic attention token. Basic attention token here is pretty basic, but it's actually having some pretty cool features here. The basic attention token to implement KYC free on chain payouts. That's what I'm talking about, baby. KYC free. That is key term right there. That is important because we're seeing more and more movement towards KYC. Like good old KuCoin got knocked out of the running for no KYC and now is forcing KYC. You know, and it's good to see a movement towards decentralization and privacy, and having KYC free on-chain payouts is a step forward in that direction. So the basic attention token founder Brendan Eak, I don't know how you say that, said the platform would implement on-chain BAT payouts without knowing your customer. This development, he adds, is part of the BAT's ongoing roadmap, which aims to streamline rewards for Brave browser users while preserving their privacy. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I was leading into: privacy, preserving privacy. And the fact that you've used Brave browser, one, you don't get ads. Two, it really helps with just being able to accumulate BAT token for other stuff. So it's pretty cool. Introducing on-chain payouts represents a significant advancement in the BAT token. It offers users the convenience of receiving BAT rewards without revealing their identity. This could in turn enhance user experience. Of course, you might also like Optimism overtakes Arbitrum in daily transactions, or WorldCoin launch. WorldCoin is trash, guys. WorldCoin is literally the worst thing that I've seen so far. Well, I'm not going to say worst thing. XRP is pretty bad, but WorldCoin is definitely one of these where you're giving up your biometrics of your eye into a hardware device that you don't even know if it has a back door and what it's doing with that information in the first place. And you're giving it all up for what? 15 bucks, maybe 20 bucks. That's ridiculous, guys. And that is literally the opposite of privacy. So I kind of got off topic here, but overall, in general, the fact that BAT token is bringing free KYC rewards is good for privacy. It's good for the users that use Brave browser. I do use Brave browser. I'm not sponsored by them in any kind of way. I wish I was, but nonetheless, anything in the crypto space that moves towards moves away from KYC and moves away towards privacy and decentralization, I'm all for it. You should be for it, and we should definitely be making a push in that direction. Not in the direction of WorldCoin, not in the direction of CBDCs and Ripple and XRP, which we'll be talking about here next. Broky Broky No Dinero. That's a really good name. That's a really good. In the eyes of a normie, wasn't that a song by Sarah? I don't know. I'm kind of musically retarded. I don't really have a big library of music in my head like that. So I don't know if that was a song, but if somebody knows, drop it in the chat for sure. Aru says that's a play on Big D energy. I thought so. I thought so. So let's move over here to XRP Ripple. I know you guys love talking about it, so I had to talk about it. I had to bring it up. Things are always happening with XRP now, and unfortunately, I got to talk about it. Even though I don't like it, I got to tell you guys the truth, right? There's no purpose in me, sugarcoating things here. You might not like my opinion, but let's just look at the facts here. Let's just look at the facts. And the facts are 30 countries, over 15% of nations in the world may use Ripple CBDC platform. Uh-oh. Opinion time, right? Opinion time. What happened to everybody using XRP? Now we're talking about Ripple CBDCs. I do not think they are the same. This is why I've been telling you guys, I believe XRP is going to eventually just move away from its XRP token, and the XRP token will continue to exist, might have some utilities, right? Have NFTs, have little things going on in the network, but it's not going to be Ripple's main priority. Ripple's main priority will probably be these partnerships with these CBDCs platforms. But let's continue on. Let's continue on here. So, as you guys can see, the Vice President of Central Bank Engagements and CBDCs at Ripple, James Wallace, recently disclosed that Ripple has ongoing conversations with over 30 countries to adopt its CBDC platform. I don't see any adoption of XRP yet, but maybe I'm wrong. In a recent interview, James, Ripple's Vice President of Central Bank, revealed that the remarkable strides Ripple has made to partner with countries worldwide on central bank digital currency matter. Of course it does, to them, but not to you, XRP holders. Renowned XRP influencer Darren shared a snippet of the interview with crypto community. In the clip, Wallace revealed that Ripple is actively conversing with over 30 countries to adopt the CBDC platform. Once again, adoption of CBDCs, Ripple, but not much about anything with XRP. So I hope you guys are starting to see different angles here, that maybe, just maybe, XRP isn't the solution you guys thought it was going to be. So once again, over 15% of countries worldwide are using CBDC solution with Ripple, yada yada. I'm not gonna go through all this Fugazi. Guys, if you guys have the Fugazi emoji, smash some Fugazi emojis in the chat right now. I want to see all the Fugazi emojis in the chat right now because this is exactly what I'm telling you. XRP is a big load of Fugazi because Ripple doesn't care about you. Ripple is not here to make you rich, right? The XRP community has this belief that some way, somehow, they're going to overtake Swift, and XRP token is going to be the main focus of absolutely all money transactions and just be the world asset, the world reserve, transactional, whatever term they want to use, that is going to be dominant, and that is going to push XRP's price to the moon, way past 589, all the way to $10,000, $5,000 per token. And everyone that's been holding and buying XRP at 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, 80 cents is going to be a multi-millionaire, possibly even billionaire in the next couple of years, right? But before this decade. Let me just tell you, that's just not a reality. If that was going to be the goal, they would never launch this thing to the normies. They would only launch these things directly to banking institutions. But the fact that they launched it to normies was a way for them to fund their motives and their technology to be able to create a proof of concept that they can then provide to these banking institutions and say, hey, look at the technology we developed. Look how fast it is. Look how great it is. Yada, yada, yada. Use our technology. And they always promised the XRP holders that they were going to be using the XRP token to do all these settlements and do all these things. But it looks like now they are pivoting and they're not really focusing on these institutions and these collaborations on the XRP token. More of CBDCs, more of traditional finance things, just using their technology without actually having to use the XRP token, which in the long term, I believe is not going to be great for the XRP price. I believe they're just going to slowly fade it out, and XRP token is just going to become another cryptocurrency like any others out here that have NFTs, maybe have other tokens built on it, and have other things going on. But it's just not going to be the thing that these major institutions are actually using. Aru says XRP has so much news, it's difficult to cover it all. 100%. But the problem is that the majority of all the XRP news being covered are only these conspiracy type, super bullish, to the moon, Kool-Aid drinking kind of news, right? With all these theories behind it. And I think that's a disservice to the XRP community because, bro, you're packing your bags on XRP. Ripple is, not doing its thing for you. It's doing its thing for them, right? It's doing its thing for CBDCs, which in the long term, even if the XRP token price moves up, as we move into the CBDC movement, CBDCs are not going to help you. They're just going to hinder you in the long term. But guys, smash those likes if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate everybody in here right now. Let's move on to US debt. The US debt is only getting worse. We've talked about this a few times this past couple of weeks, and we have some more news here. So buckle in, guys. Buckle in. US debt explodes. 392 trillion? No, billion. Trillion. Yeah, right. We'd be dollar would be at zero. 392 billion, 750 million dollars in 30 days as Cato institution warns unsustainable spending hindering national security. But this is not what they want you to worry about, okay? The US national debt is growing at an unrelenting pace. I mean, we got that debt ceiling raised and they said it's time to spend, baby. Spend, spend, spend. And here we are, right? The new numbers from the government's fiscal data shows on July 27th, the country's total public debt has hit 32.6 trillion. That's an increase of 392 billion in the last month, an increase of 66.41 billion in the last week alone. 66 billion in 1 week. Holy smolies. The surge has brought America's quarterly interest payments on its debt to nearly 1 trillion. The let's read one more time. Let's get through that one more time. America's quarterly, there are 4 quarters in a year, interest payment, just the interest, right? The thing that keeps you indebted, enslaved in debt forever, which is the interest payments when they get out of control, that you can't really pay on your credit card because your credit card is like 22%, 24%, and you're like, how can I keep up? My interest payments are like $300, and then I put my actual payment on top of it. I'm just paying interest every single month because I'm paying the minimum, and I'm only paying interest, and the debt just continues to grow out of control. Now, imagine that, right? When we talk about our credit cards, but now let's switch it over to the US government with their interest payment. So, America's quarterly interest payments on its debt is nearly $1 trillion. Nearly $1 trillion of interest payments every quarter. 4 quarters, $4 trillion to just pay interest. But don't worry, guys, this is sustainable. We can definitely keep going. The US dollar is stronger than ever. Trust me. Just trust me. Trust the science. It's okay. The new data shows, the new data comes amid a warning of America's, doesn't show, what it's showing is, things are going out of control. But, that's a story for a different time. Right, the financial institution, the country's ever expanding debt is now an issue of national security, delaying responsible fiscal reforms in the face of growing federal debt invites economic and national decline. Well, no freaking duh, right? High and rising US federal debts leads to suppressed private investment, reduced incomes, and increased risk of a sudden fiscal crisis. Oh, are you talking about the possible recession or the possible depression that we're headed into? We are headed towards the 100-year anniversary of the Great Depression of 1929. We are only 6 years away from that. That's where we're trying to recreate those events, right? Maybe, just maybe, we're trying to kind of do a back to the future kind of event here where we're traveling back in time, but at the current modern times to re-experience what the Great Depression was like so that we can get some, culture in our lives. Maybe that's the goal here. Maybe that's the goal. A weaker economy and growing concerns by international bondholders of U.S. treasuries. Oh, yeah, that's right. Banks are now starting to collapse again. I think it was Pac West and a few, and maybe one other that is in kind of wobbling trouble right now about the government's inability to willingness to service its debt without resorting to high inflation. Will drive up interest costs and eventually impact America's international standing negatively. Oh, wait, are you saying that the US dollar is going to maybe lose its international reserve world asset status? I don't know. I'm just reading in between the lines here, guys. I'm just reading in between the lines. National defense is a core responsibility of the federal government. Yeah, because they're just so good at being responsible. To maximize American safety and prosperity should guide both strategy and budget. A dire fiscal crisis would erode the economic foundation of America's strength, limiting U.S. capacity to defend its vital interest at home and abroad. Right. And I'm not going to keep going through all of this because we know we've talked about it on this show many, many times. Crypto Billy in the house. What is going on? Hola. What's up, man? You know, I believe that the US is in trouble with the way we're spending money like there ain't no tomorrow, right? Just spend, 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 hit that money printer, go burr, and then we got interest rates going up. We got the inverse bond market just going out of loop, going crazy. All these banks holding bonds, and they're like, wait a minute, we're not making any more money anymore. What's going on here? Why are interest rates still going up? We're still combating inflation, and the US is just saying, inflation who? Hit that money printing bird machine, baby. Let's just keep spending, 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 and more spending, and more spending, and more spending, because it's not backed by anything. So we can just make more. We can just continue using it. Who's going to stop us, right? We're the US government. It's backed by our mighty forces. Well, when those mighty forces are receiving a paycheck that's worth practically nothing, and they're basically broke, and the country's broke, and everybody's broke, I'm going to see where all that mighty might is going to come from, right? So, like I said, not trying to spread fear, just facts. US spending is out of control. US government and money is just out of control. And this is the purpose of cryptocurrencies, right? The purpose of Bitcoin. And I'm just going to focus on Bitcoin here because it's one of the two that has clarity, right? Everybody loves to focus on XRP's clarity now, but Bitcoin is deemed a commodity, so it does have clarity. It is the purpose of separating the state from money officially, right? There is no control over Bitcoin. There is no more creating Bitcoin. There is none of that fugazi. There is no middleman holding transactions from happening. And that is the thing that Bitcoin brings to the table, along with many other cryptocurrencies. Because I'm not saying that Bitcoin alone is the only one that does this, but Bitcoin is the one that the big institutions and big money guys have their eyes on. But we continue on this fiat system. We're just continuously printing forever and never really just thinking about the consequences. We're stealing from ourselves, from our future selves, when all this debt creation continues, right? We are in a debt creating system. We just create more debt, create more slaves, and that's just the way the the ball continues rolling down the hill. And it's not good. Just because we've been doing it all this time and nothing has cracked and broken and destroyed itself just yet does not mean it is good. And the fact, right, a lot of people like to believe that the US government and the US dollar could never collapse in the term of economical statuses, right? The economical status of the US dollar will forever. There is nothing better than the US dollar. There is nothing better than the United States of America. And I agree. But so did the Romans think the same thing. So did the Greeks. So did many other nations, the Egyptians, the whatever's, every empire, the Persians, the Ottoman, right? All empires at one point had the strongest currency, had the strongest military, had the strongest empire of the world, and they said, ain't nobody got nothing on me. Ain't nobody gonna knock me down, right? And we are in the same boat right now, where we think we're the best because we've been the best, but we haven't been acting like the best lately. And when they catch you slipping, right, just like a professional fighter, you're the best, you're hungry, you're just fighting and training to be the best at all times. But once you become champion, right, like Rocky, you start to getting soft, right? Because you start having these life of luxury, and luxuries make you soft. And once you start getting soft, you still think you're the best, but you haven't been acting like the best. And eventually, somebody hungrier, tougher, that has been grinding, that has been doing what needs to be done, will eventually come in and sit in the ring with you. And 1, 2, you're out. You're no longer the champ. You lose your belt. And now there's a new champion in town, right? So I believe the same thing can happen to the United States if we do not fix this. How can we fix this? I don't really think that right now there is a solution. I think we have gone past the point of no return. I think that now we're just hopping along to see how far we can make it. But it's only a matter of time. It's not if, it's only a matter of time of when. And that is why I believe a lot of big institutions like BlackRock are making big bold statements right now, talking about the portfolio allocations of Bitcoin, right? BlackRock stated that their allocation is, or they recommended allocation is like 84%, 85% Bitcoin. I think that's the reason why. I think that is why they're moving in that direction, because they understand that that asset, whether they like it or not, is not binded by any government. It's not controlled by anyone. It can't be inflated. It can't lose value over time. And because of those reasons, it is literally backed by energy. Everybody asks, what is Bitcoin backed by? Bitcoin's not backed by anything. It's backed by energy, guys. That's why it's proof of work. That's why the proof of work system works, because it's backed by energy. It takes something to make something. Not like proof of stake where nothing creates something. That sounds a lot like the fiat system, right? But not bashing on proof of stake. That's a debate for a different day. In general, Bitcoin versus US dollars and the way that the US dollar is manipulated by governments and the Federal Reserve is a problem. And we're only going to continue hopping along. And like I said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So, guys, if you haven't smashed those likes, smash those likes. And there's always another bull run coming. It's only a matter of time, right? I know things feel down. I know things feel boring. I know things feel like, Bitcoin's never gonna crack 30,000. It's never gonna hit an all-time high. Crypto, and not just Bitcoin, but obviously that comes with the altcoins as well, coming up and pumping. You know, I continue to believe that cryptocurrencies are the greatest transfer of wealth, right? Some better than others, clearly. They're not all the same. They all contain very different levels of risk, but you can guys can do your own research on that, right? Macro caps versus, micro caps, nano caps, whatever. They all contain different risk, but I continue to believe Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these other larger cryptocurrencies and even new ones that we're just starting to hear about now will be and have been the greatest transfer of wealth that we've seen in many lifetimes, and that we will see for many lifetimes in the future, right? The future generations will look back at this time, however long this early adoption phase lasts, and say, wow, the people living during that time, what were they doing? What were they thinking? How did they not see this? How were they not part of this? What were you doing? And what were you looking at? Were you looking at the aliens? Were you looking at, the politics? Were you looking at the real estate market? What were you looking at? Were you just watching Netflix, right? Too hot to handle, or the next freaking Barbie movie? What were you doing? What were you doing during that time? And the people that weren't getting into cryptocurrencies, the people that weren't building a portfolio, that weren't building up a position in the greatest transfer of wealth, future generations are going to look back at your generation, at you, and say, "Well, you set me up for failure, man. You really screwed the pooch on this one. Like, you missed out big." And that's what, mainstream media and mainstream world, the normies live in, right? They live in that world where they think that they don't need any of this stuff, and that the greatest transfer of wealth is always will be and continue to hold dollars and stack dollars in their bank accounts, and their bank accounts get bigger, but they lose buying power. So, like, what does it matter if you're 12,000 go to 15,000 if you're losing buying power constantly? If it takes you 4 to 5 days to be able to even get access to your money, if you can even get access to your money, every time you need to do a big transaction, you need to ask permission from the overlords to be able to use it. Crypto Billy says, +1 blockchain crusader. Amen, bro. I appreciate it, dude. I hope you had good time out there in Las Vegas, enjoying your trip out there with Sin City Crypto and everybody else that showed up. I'm sure that event was really fun. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. But yes, guys, there is hope. There is hope at the end of, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a solution to a problem. It's only a matter of fact of what many angles are you gonna looking for, you're looking through and really look for. And I think cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, and many other cryptos out there are the solution to this US debt problem, are the solution to the fiat problem, to the debt slavery problem. I do believe that they are the solution, 100%. Guys, if you haven't smashed the likes just yet, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? It's that simple. Smash those likes. Hit that sub if you haven't subbed already. 50% of people that watch the show are not subbed. Guys, hit that sub button. Greatly appreciate it. Hit me with some Fugazi emojis on the chat as we get out of here. I just want to remind you guys to enjoy the rest of your Sunday, enjoy the rest of your weekend with your families. And like always, question everything, trust nothing. And until next time, hodl like it's hot. See you guys.